Hi, and welcome to Story Time. I'm Carolyn, and I want to talk today primarily about the emotion of pride and the misinterpretation of ego, particularly a self-inflated ego. So welcome to Story Time. So as you may have figured out, Story Time is running a bit different this season in the hope that we can not just cultivate some deeper integration of the lessons, but also so we've got time to digest them. So I'm kind of using story time to complement what we're exploring and studying and practicing in our book club and specifically Coaches Chat. So I come to you today, not with a story from my experience or a story from one of my students, but actually from a children's picture book. And I don't share this children's picture book to talk down to you or to belittle, diminish, or make light of the topic that I want to share today, because this is an important topic. But the reason that I have brought a children's book to our conversation, to our sharing of story time, is because I want to kind of, forgive me here for a moment, I want to hijack that big brain of yours. I want to hijack what you've learned as an adult. And in learning to be an adult, you've learned to put on armor and defenses, and perhaps even to project the appearance of enoughness, of competence, of quality, of significance. And so I want to hijack that brain just for a moment so we can get back, I hope, to that childlike innocence, that open-heartedness of our playful child, and maybe a little more connected to the Atman center, the Buddhi nature, that doesn't know the stories of our woundedness, of our injuries, of our disappointments, and our failures. So let me just start first with a quick Google search on pride. I want to talk about pride, about ego, about hubris. But specifically, I'm overwhelmed at how often pride gets a bad rap. I could easily forgive his pride. This is from Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, if he had not mortified mine. And maybe this is a good example of what I mean by that adulting, that having lived and learned and protected nature, is that I can't forgive you your pride because in doing so, you have wounded mine. It creates a competition. And pride is not meant to be a competition. That would be the hubris, the self-inflated sense of who we be and what we've accomplished. But pride is rooted in authenticity, a self-reflection that is compassionate about what we've overcome, but also celebratory of what we've accomplished. So I'm going to read Lucy Cousins. She is both the author and the artist of the book called I'm the Best. So this will only take a couple minutes. It's a short story. Let's see if you can't enjoy the pictures, the colors, and the simple lesson for us, even as adults. I'm the Best by Lucy Cousins. Hello, I'm Dog, and I'm the best. Can you hear that confidence and competence in his declaration? These are my friends, Ladybug, Mole, Goose, and Donkey. How beautiful. He has a circle of friends, of support, a sangha who he feels comfortable being with. In fact, he says, I love them. They're great. But I'm the best. Uh-oh, Abhinavesha showed up. That's a Sanskrit word for that sense of I need to be special, right? So he says, I can run much faster than Mole. I win, I'm the best. He says, I can dig holes much better than Goose. I win, I'm the best. And maybe you're already seeing a little bit of a problem here in Dog's philosophy. He goes on and he says, I'm much bigger than Ladybug. I win, I'm the best. I can swim much better than Donkey. I win, I am the best. I've had these moments, particularly when I'm not feeling all that confident and competent, all that clear about who I am in the world. I look for ways to put myself as better than others. So in other words, we put others down in order to build ourselves up. Now, Dog doesn't seem to do this maliciously. And yet, if we had a conversation with Dog, I wonder if maybe Dog's not feeling a little less than worthy, less than skilled at doing him, or maybe even just a little concerned that he's not special. He's just ordinary. So let's see what happens. I'm the best at everything. Dog looks happy. Dog looks confident. But it's kind of like that quote, that the king has to profess that he's the king and in charge. He's not much of a king, is he? Right? Leadership is about having others want to follow you and be with you, not having to tell them, I'm the boss, I'm in charge, or as Dog says, I'm the best at everything. Donkey then, this is a beautiful example of how this circle really can be authentic and honest with each other. Donkey says, I'm sad. And Goose says, me too. Dog is the best at everything. Ladybug says, I wish I were as good as Dog. But Mole's got a little more perspective here. And he says, actually, I can dig holes much longer and much deeper than you, Dog. So I win. I'm the best. Now, if you missed it, Dog was comparing his digging skills to Goose earlier, who's not the best digger. Maybe you're familiar with doing the same in your world. Actually, Goose says, I can swim much, much faster than you, Dog. So I win. I'm the best. And Donkey standing up on his hind legs, which is kind of funny to think about. But he says, actually, I'm much bigger than you, Dog. So I win. I'm the best. They're changing the rules. They're changing the competition so that they win according to the rules that Dog laid out. Actually, I can fly much higher than you, Dog. In fact, you even have wings. So I win. I'm the best, says Ladybug. Uh-oh. Now Dog has taken all of this in and he's got tears. He says, oh dear, I'm not the best at anything. Can you see the all or nothing behavior here? He was only good enough when he believed he was the best at everything. And now he's nothing because he's not good at any of the things that have been discussed. I'm horrible at everything. I'm just a silly show-off. Well, that may be, but it's not saying the same thing as the first line, is it? I don't even have wings, and I'm mean to my friends. Ooh. Sorry, Ladybug. Sorry, Mole. Sorry, Goose. Sorry, Donkey. How courageous of Dog to recognize his mistake, his injuries, his harm, and then to accept responsibility and attempt to make amends. That's what the apology is. But because this is a healthy circle of friends, the animals don't leave it as such. They don't beat up Dog and leave him in the pit. Instead, they say, don't worry, Dog. You are the best at being our best friend. It's kind of like him saying, you're the best at being you, Dog. And you are the best at having beautiful, fluffy ears. And we love you. Look at that. These friends can see Dog for who he is, love him just as he is, and then can even go that next step to help him see what he takes for granted, what he perhaps has seen as mundane because it's just part of who he is. He didn't practice having fluffy ears, but his friends remind him that those fluffy ears make you beautiful. Oh, phew, says dog. Obviously, having beautiful, fluffy ears is the most important thing. So I am the best. So I love that despite the lessons that dog learns about how he's not the best at the things that maybe his friends are best at, he still comes back to that need to redefine. So in other words, perhaps there is more work to do for dog in understanding the difference between having a healthy pride, a healthy ego, and its tripping factor of hubris, what causes us to think that we are better than and we self-inflate. So I have another quote that I thought was a compliment perhaps to this story. And this actually comes from C.S. Lewis, a tomb, Mere Christianity, a very popular text within the Christian community and philosophy for that matter. And he says, a proud man is always looking down on things and people. And of course, as long as you are looking down, you cannot see something that is above you. Now, I don't love everything that C.S. Lewis has to say, so I just want to put that out there first of all. But I think it's important to recognize that when we only look in one direction, we will miss what is beyond that gaze, beyond that view. But we also have to remember that choosing is within our control. So if I can look down, I can also be looked down upon, yes? And if I can look down, can I not also look up? But so far, we're really talking about the intellectual brain through the perspective of our eyes. Yoga invites us to instead unite with our heart and look from me to you. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. We are the same. Perhaps a convoluted extrapolation of what the Namaste blessing means, at least in terms of our practice here in the States. The point is, we want to know what we're good at. This brings me back to what I call the 4 C's. On that bed of compassion, we practice being our best selves, of seeing ourselves, not as we think we're supposed to be, but as who we authentically are, the Atman, the Buddhi center. And we surround ourselves with a community, with a circle who can help mirror back to us truth when we fail to see it, when we forget, when we want to deny. And that goes for the good as well as those things that we need to work through and learn to overcome. But in that practice, in that community, we build our competence and our confidence. And these are the things that when executed with compassion can become a healthy, prideful place. But when they are not rooted in compassion, that's where we run into the danger of tripping into hubris, of inflated ego, of a desire to be better than, kind of as a safety mechanism, to put space between me and everyone else so that I can't be hurt. I would so love to know how this story time has landed with you, and perhaps how you can make the connection between our yoga philosophies and practices with our modern day interpretation of the words like pride and ego and hubris. Because our Buddhi nature, our Atman center, is beautiful from all angles and in all ways. We've got nothing to prove. But by practicing consistently, by consistently studying the teachings and looking for ways to adapt and to apply them to our living, we can cultivate compassion, grow in our competence and our confidence. And when we do, we come to a clarity to see ourselves authentically. And it's that clarity that allows us to stand in our truth, proclaim what is our truth, what is our strengths, and to offer that abundantly in kind, in service, in love. So that even if our gift, what we've offered, is not accepted, our pride is not damaged. Our pride is not wounded, because our pride is not rooted in other people's opinions. It is rooted in the authenticity of who we be ourselves, our confidence and our competence rooted in compassion for ourselves and therefore for others as well. So thank you to Lucy Cousins for sharing a picture book to explore our pride, our ego, and ultimately the practice of community and learning to be our best selves. Thanks so much for being here for Storytime. I'll see you next month and we'll talk about fear and the link between fear and sometimes this defensiveness of the overinflated ego. Until then, be well. Take care of you. Take care of those around you. That is the best practice, the practice of compassion. May you breathe deeply and move freely, labor lovingly, and live vibrantly. Namaste.